So I'll turn over to our next guest, Anita Makori. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Of course, when you join, you will get to hear the pronunciation of it. Joining us from Nairobi, Kenya, the Triple Scholarship Award recipient, and what else? Let me. I need to drink water before before going forward with with your introduction, Anita. So yeah, the Triple Scholarship has mastered, of course, I always say you've mastered the science behind grad school. When you're a content creator, you are ever doing right. You got three admissions from top universities in the UK. We talk about Oxford University, Cambridge, and University of London. Viewers, if you notice, the viewers are increasing. They want to know, they want to hear this experience, how an African uh, was able to secure this opportunity. This is why we are here. This is why the viewers are joining us. So first of all, Anita, welcome to the live session. Thanks for taking time off your busy schedule to talk, to share your experience. Tell us about yourself and what you currently do, please.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Anita Makori. You pronounced it very well. And I am from Kenya. I'm 24 years old. And currently, I'm a health data scientist at the Center for Epidemiological Modeling and Analysis, which is based at the University of Nairobi. And in a few weeks now, I'll be starting my master's in international health and tropical medicine at the University of Oxford as a MasterCard Africa Oxford Initiative Scholar. Yeah. And I'm also a mentor. I'm also a content creator, as you mentioned. And
Yeah,
I wear many hats.
I almost said I was gonna say you're one of the people who pushed me into creating content, but I'll be lying because I got to find out about you. You know, your what you do and everything. We connected on LinkedIn. It makes, it makes sense to see young people, young individuals from Africa in particular, moving towards tech related fields, filling out these roles, doing involving themselves in research. And I know I'm reading at one comment here from one person. This is someone who just had his PhD, and I know he did a lot in engineering research on battery and energy and everything. So it makes proper sense, right? So on the journey from a young Kenyan girl to data science research assistant, bagging admission from three top universities, I always like to emphasize that, and three fully funded scholarships, right? Walk us through the process, Anita.
The process is a very long one, but I'll try and make it brief. So I did my undergraduate and graduated in 2020. I did a Bachelor of Science in Epidemiology and Biostatistics. And upon graduation, I sought internship opportunities. So I used to write cold emails to principal investigators who are doing research interested in. And in that way, I was able to connect with a professor and get an internship from their research team. And that is how I got my first data science internship. And then after my internship, I was promoted to a research assistant and then now to a data scientist. So I would say in that regard, I reached out to people persistently, and then I was able to grow in my data science skills, in my data analytics skills, especially in health, because as I mentioned, I'm a health data scientist. And that is how I was able to grow to where I am now. And then in terms of bagging those many admissions and those many scholarships, they didn't always come. They weren't always there. I started applying for schools back in 2020, and I got rejections for everything I applied for in 2020. And then in 2021, I applied again and I got admissions to Oxford and to Glasgow, but I did not get any funding. And because I could not afford to fund myself, I had to let go of that and then apply again in 2022. So now this time I applied to 3 schools and 10 scholarships. And out of those, I was able to get accepted into the 3 schools I applied for and to get 4 scholarships. So I would not say that it was a one night thing, like an overnight success, but it's just that most people don't know the backstory of the number of rejections, sorry, I had to go through to get to where I am now. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Highlighting on some of these rejections simply talks about a story of perseverance, right? And it's a lot of things. It's one of these aspects that youths, African youth in particular, tend to shy away from, right? I've had the chance to work with grad, graduates, in any respective field. And it's funny to realize that some people don't even have resumes. Some people don't have what we call CV in Cameroon, curriculum vitae, of course. Some people don't have like a mapped out program on what they want to be, what they are looking for. We see these opportunities are out there, but if you tell somebody, hey, what do you have to put in for this opportunity, they don't even have an Excel. They don't even know how to launch the Excel program on your computers. So but when we go back to your high school days and we take a look, what has been your greatest motivation so far?
Okay, thank you. So I think my greatest motivation for me is my own dreams. I usually tell people that I have such big dreams that sometimes they scare me. So one of them was going to study at the University of Oxford. And now that I'm going there, this just speaks that there's no dream that is too big. So clearly they are achievable. But yeah, my biggest motivation is that I have such huge expectations of myself. And so I usually set such high goals and big dreams that I always consistently work towards achieving. And even though I may not achieve them immediately, I still persistently go at it. So my biggest for me is making myself proud and achieving my very big dreams. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Talking about achieving dreams, I remember stumbling on one note. An elderly person had one written. It was a letter from a daydreamer, right? The letter was to himself, regretting on all the opportunities that he has missed in his life. This was a letter from a 50-something-year-old person. So just getting your story kind of touched in and helps us correct these mistakes we sometimes make in life. Let's go back to tech, right? Women in technology, girls in technology, you are getting there. Popular data reports women make up 33% of tech-related workforce, and only about 3% are Black. What's your take on these statistics, and how do you see opportunities for women in tech-related fields?
Okay. I think especially in Africa, I don't know if it's the same everywhere, but I'll speak for Kenya. We've commonly had in the past, we've had careers that are meant for boys in quotes and careers that are meant for girls. So growing up, you'd find that girls would be directed to certain careers that are away from tech, and boys would be directed towards careers that are towards tech. But I'm glad with recent days, we are starting to discover that careers are not gender defined, and that each of us have different talents, have different gifts, and we can excel in whatever field we choose in. So what I would say is that we are actively trying to bridge this gender gap in tech, and I'm glad that we have initiatives that are working towards that. Earlier, when I introduced myself, I mentioned that I'm a mentor, and so some of the mentorship work I do is to encourage young girls from high school and campus to pursue non-traditional career paths for women. So career paths that initially were thought to be not for women. So I'm glad that with recent events, we are able to start bridging that gap. And I would like to say that for anyone who would like to come into STEM careers, for any girl who would like to be a girl in STEM, just know that there's always a table for you in the table. And if there's always a chair for you in the table, and if the chair is not there, pull yourself a chair and join the conversation. As long as you believe you can succeed in it and you're interested in tech, then just go for it. All these opportunities are yours to take. Yeah.
That is a very inspiring point, of course, because we tend to see a lot of women, especially in Africa, just as we mentioned, moving towards the nursing healthcare field because they assume that that's the right field for them. That's just what they should be doing, right? Taking care of people just like they take care of their households, just like they take care of their siblings. But getting to understand, knowing that a lot of people who move from the nursing field who leave Africa with nursing degrees, they don't actually get to use these nursing degrees. Second thing is that we should get into the comfort of having conversations that sometimes this nursing wherever you have to, when you come for a certification in nursing, when in Africa, when you come to the US, make their own certification program, because we're talking about saving lives. So thanks for highlighting on this. And the last question, what are some of the opportunities, scholarships, and competitions you encourage youth in Kenya and Africa in general to look out for?
Okay. So there are so many opportunities out there, and not just to go study in the UK, but to study anywhere that you'd like to study in the world. And I usually say that resources exist. It's just that people are not willing to go the extra mile that you need to go to access them. So a very good resource I would mention is the internet, and knowing how to use the internet well, because there are so many websites that are curated to share opportunities. Like a good website is called Opportunities for Africa, which literally shows opportunities for Africans. So be it school opportunities, be it job opportunities, and it's worldwide opportunities you can get on there. So, and then LinkedIn is also a good resource, because you find on LinkedIn, you even get to connect with mentors, with people who are already in the field that you want to pursue. So you can talk to them and get to have interactive conversations and learn from them. Even though they may not be able to give you opportunities at that time, you're able to learn from them. So LinkedIn is a good resource. And then we have this, just go online and search. And then literally, I usually tell people that and they say it sounds too simple. But if you go online and search for opportunities, you'll be able to get them. Because that is how I got some of the school opportunities I applied for. And then social media, using social media well, because there are so many content creators who produce content in terms of opportunities, in terms of school, in terms of scholarships, like what you're doing here. So this just shows that social media is a very powerful tool getting information on opportunities that are out there. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. And when you try to convince the young people to keep aside gossip and follow platforms like this, like yours, of course, I've included your YouTube handle on the screen for people who want to connect with you and learn more about the various programs you've gone through and the mentorship, whatever mentorship program you are into. So thank you so much for joining. I will. We'll just stay back, and if there's any question for you from the comment section, of course we'll take them. This plays on possible career. Let's take a rendezvous for